Dear Lord, I sit here alone with my thoughts, wondering if you will ever forgive me. Why do I continue to fail you? I'm failing you because I'm turning away from the precious gift of having a child. A child, a breathing, living, beautiful life that I created, but am too selfish to accept from you. Will you still love me as a child of yours? Will I still love me after today? Haley's Journal, October 23rd, 2000. It's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. On April 5th of 2001, Donetta Robbins' 22-year-old niece didn't show up for work. Her friend Rosa drove over to check on her, and her car wasn't there. Rosa called the girl's father, Edwin. Had she gone home to visit her family? Edwin later said he just knew his daughter was dead. He called the Omaha police, and he called his daughter's landlord. They went to her apartment where they found her body. Though the coroner estimated that the young woman had been dead for several days, all official documents and the young woman's tombstone used the April 5th as her date of death, so will I. And in telling her niece's story, Donetta decided to use the name Haley Mason. And in respect for her family's desire for privacy, I will likewise use that pseudonym and pseudonyms that Donetta used for friends and family members. The official ruling was that Haley's death was an accidental overdose. The family was stunned as the investigators spoke with them, revealing discoveries made looking into her death. Isolated words echoed in their minds. Death, journals. Death, pills. Death, drinking. Death, hurt. Death, abortion. Abortion? Abortion. The answers to how Haley went from happy-go-lucky college student to suicide statistic weren't in the official reports. They were found in Haley's journals, where she poured her heart out in the final months of her life. The story of how Haley died began when she fell in love with Todd. When she found out she was pregnant, she told him, and he wanted her to get an abortion. Haley was a student at the University of Nebraska. She worked 2 jobs to meet her expenses. Unmarried, without much money, and with a disapproving boyfriend, Haley saw the abortion as her only option. She made her appointment at the Bellevue, Nebraska practice of Dr. Leroy Carhart, and this was late October of 2000. Haley wrote of Todd's attitude, "I must let him abandon me. He doesn't care about me. I know he's only agreed to pay for it to ease his own guilt." Haley found the abortion stressful. The wait, the sounds, the crude and uncaring behavior of the doctor. Haley'd been told to arrive at the clinic at 7 o'clock in the morning, but it was 10 hours before she was finally on the table ready for the abortion. She wrote that Carhart walked into the room, clad in a dirty coat and eyeglasses so smeared that Haley's friend, who had accompanied her, wondered how he could even see through the lenses. While performing the vacuum abortion, Haley later wrote, Carhart spouted profanities. He told Haley and her friend that he was tired. He'd been speaking in California the day before and had just flown into Omaha that morning. After the abortion, Haley felt violated. It is as if she'd been raped. She also experienced continued spotting into January. She'd not been given a follow-up appointment and didn't know if the bleeding was normal or not. She didn't want to go to another doctor because she'd have to tell him about the abortion, and that was just too painful to talk about. And the bleeding was a constant reminder of the death of her unborn baby. Haley had told very few people about the abortion, 3 close friends and 2 relatives, but she didn't tell them of her struggles to cope with the emotional pain. She kept telling herself that she'd done the best thing, but she started punishing herself and pushing away anybody who tried to love her. She didn't feel that she deserved to be loved. She longed for a knight in shining armor to rescue her from her prison of grief, but she no longer felt comfortable with men. She had to get drunk to be able to endure sex, and even then it reminded her of the abortion. Todd came by at early hours looking for sex. Haley submitted, but her heart wasn't in it. She didn't feel loved anymore. She felt used. Her drinking got worse. Hot baths and quick jogs provided temporary relief from the anguish, but it always returned. Finally, Haley couldn't stand it anymore. First, she drank plenty of alcohol to numb herself. Then she went into her living room and grabbed a precious photo of her late mother and maternal grandfather. Then a bottle of vodka, a bottle of aspirin, an old prescription bottle of Benadryl. Haley washed the drugs down with the vodka, leaving the 3 bottles next to the photograph. She went to her bedroom and put her rosary around her neck. She set an empty holy water bottle on her dresser. She opened her journal to the day of the abortion and lay down with her head on her pillow, looking for the rest she could no longer find in living and leaving her family to sort out their own pain. And yet the abortion rights movement would have us believe that there's no risk of suicide after abortion. Women just dance out gaily, delighted with their decision. And if you follow the link below to the companion post, I link to other post-abortion suicides.